Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm so short. There you go. There you go. Hello, hello. Hi, it's 2. Hi, Fanny. Hi, Emblem. Hi, Eridos. Hi, Whitney. How's it going? Allan. Hi, Squeak. It's looking ho. Good. Hello, everybody. I have permission to be alignment? No, you do not. You do not have permission. Hi, Al. How's everyone doing? So, this morning I had like a really bad headache. Oh, I just woke up like that. Do I promise to make other people live in? Sure, knock yourself out. But yeah, I had a really bad headache, and then I just like laid in bed for hours and hours and hours, and I was like, I hope that I feel better later. Well, here I am. I feel better now, so I like those emotes. I feel alive. Alive enough to do this. So I guess it's ASMR time. So I'm pretty excited. I have a few poems that I wanted to read. Um there's not as many as I thought I'd be able to get, but we'll see. If it's good, we can just find more. I don't know. Figure something out. But yeah, how you guys doing? Hope you're doing pretty good. Yes. I don't know. I'm overthinking. I'm a little nervous. So we're just gonna have to. I don't know. I do these in order. I really wanted to read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Like, that's like the biggest reason why I wanted to do this. But I'm also like, should I do it in order? Cause like, what if people come late and then I already read my favorite one? How's it going, Devad? How you doing? My day's been pretty alright. Meow? You know, like, yeah? I like that, like cool Tamagotchi you got, Squeak. Looks good. And thank you all for contributing to the ASMR channel. I actually was almost late today to the, to streaming because I was drawing something for the ASMR. Or like, I don't know, I was just drawing something for ASMR. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm excited. It looks good. Mini me. Alright. I might skip around. So for now I have on the list The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, Cage Bird by Maya Angelou, Birches by Robert Frost, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. And then like there's some other ones that are really long that I'm like I probably wouldn't be able to read all of it, but I have with me Paradise Lost and Beowulf. So, but those ones are really long. Like those are like whole ass stories. But you know what? Maybe a bitch might just read a whole ass story. We'll see how we're feeling. You know? I don't think it really gives about 私たちはあなたを愛してます。ありがとう。本当本当ありがとう。That's super sweet. But yeah. Esma the Lasagna Cat 1 hour script. I could ASMR the Lasagna Cat 1 hour script. That would be kind of poggers. Maybe I'll do that on the day that I do a sleep stream. That'd put me to sleep. It's a lot of talking. 楽しんでくれてありがとう。あー、embarrassing 恥ずかしい。Alright. Let's see, which one should I start with? Or if there's any really cool poems that you guys know that you want me to read, I guess I could also do. Oh, that one's pretty. Sorry, I'm looking at what other ones I could read. Alright, alright. Fine, I'll just start. Has it been 5 minutes? I don't know. Alright, let me start with a big one. Alright, I'll read the Cage Bird by Maya Angelou. It's a beautiful one. Thank you for following. Irun Cat. Zoom in. My eye. I'm losing my. Bro, I'm getting old. Oh, wait, you know what I need? I need lo-fi hip hop. That's what I'm missing. I'm like, it's a little too quiet. You know what I mean? Oh, I have to unmute it. Here we go. How's this? Right? So, Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. Caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on a distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dream. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped, his feet tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. Beautiful. Beautiful. What a good poem. It was written in 1983 by my Angelou. Very good one. Alright. Next one that we will read is The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. I think this will be pretty cool. Part 1. It is an ancient mariner, and he stoppeth one of three. By thy long grey beard and glittering eye, now wherefore stoppest thou me? The bridegroom's doors are wide open. Oops. Are opened wide, and I am next of kin. The guests are met, the feast is set. Mayst hear the merry din. He holds him with his skinny hand. There was a ship, quoth he. Hold off, unhand me, grey beard loon. Eftsoons his hands dropped he. He holds him with his glittering eye. The wedding guests stood still and listens like a 3 years child. The mariner hath his will. The wedding guest sat on a stone. He cannot choose but hear, and thus spake on that ancient man, the bright-eyed mariner. The ship was cheered, the harbor cleared. Merrily did we drop below the kirk, below the hill, below the lighthouse top. The sun came up upon the left. Out of the sea came he, and he shone bright, and on the right went down into the sea. higher and higher every day, till over the mast at noon the wedding guest here beat his breast. From here heard the loud bassoon. Good night, dream. The bride hath paced into the hall, red as a rose is she, nodding their heads before her goes the merry minstrelsy. The wedding guest he beat his breast, yet he cannot choose but hear. And thus spake on that ancient man, the bright-eyed mariner. And now the storm blast came, and he was tyrannous and strong. He struck with his o'ertaking wings and chased us south along, with slopping mast and dripping prow, as who pursued with yell and blow still treads the shadow of his foe, and forward bends his head. The ship drove fast, loud roared the blast, and southward aye we fled. And now there come both mist and snow, and it grew wondrous cold, and ice mast high came floating by, as green as emerald, and through the drifts the snowy cliffs did send a dismal sheen, nor shapes of men nor beasts we ken, the ice was all between. The ice was here, the ice was there, the ice was all around. It cracked and growled and roared and howled like noises in a swound. At length did cross an albatross, through the fog it came, as if it had been a Christian soul. We hailed it in God's name. It ate the food it ne'er had eat, and round it flew. The ice did split with a thunder fit, the helmsman steered us through, and a good south wind sprung up behind, the albatross did follow. And every day, for food or play, came the mariners, hello, in mist or cloud, on mast or shroud, it perched for vespers 9, whiles all the night through fog smoke white glimmered the white moon shine. God save thee, ancient mariner, from the fiends that plagues thee thus. Why lookest thou so? With my crossbow I shot the albatross. That was part one of the Ancient Mariner. Do you want me to keep going? I can keep it too. You want to know what happens? Give her bullying our cobra. Look how sorry about. The sun now rose upon the right. Out of the sea came he, still hid in the mist, and on the left went down into the sea. And the good south wind still blew behind, but no sweet bird did follow, nor any day for food or play came to the mariner's hollow. And I had done a hellish thing, and it would work them woe. For all averred, I had killed the bird that made the breeze to blow. Ah, wretch, said they, the bird to slay that made the breeze to blow. Nor dim nor red, like God's own head, the glorious sun uprist. Then all averred I had killed the bird that brought fog and mist. 'Twas right, they said, such birds to slay. It brought the fog and mist. The fair breeze blew, the white foam blew, the furrow followed free. You were the first that ever burst into that silent sea. Down dropped the breeze, the sails dropped down. 'Twas sad as sad could be, and we did speak only to break the silence, the sea. Reading is very relaxing. Thank you. I'm glad. All a hot and copper sky, the bloody sun at noon, right above the mast did stand, no bigger than the moon. Day after day, day after day, we stuck, nor breath, nor motion, as idle as a painted ship upon a painted ocean. Water, water everywhere, and all the boards did shrink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. the very deep did rot. Oh Christ, that ever this should be. Yea, slimy things did crawl with legs upon the slimy sea. About, about, in reel and rout, the death fires danced at night. The water, like witches' oils, burnt green and blue and white. And some in dreams assured were of the spirit that plagued us so. 9 fathom deep he had followed us from the land of mist and snow, and every tongue through utter drought was withered at the root. We could not speak, no more than if we had been choked with soot. Ah, well a day, what evil looks had I from old and young. Instead of the cross, the albatross around my neck was hung. Ow, dang. Rime the Aged Mariner? Yes. Part 3. There passed a weary time. Each throat was parched and glazed each eye. A weary time, a weary time. How glazed each weary eye. When looking westward, I behold a something in the sky. At first it seemed a little speck, and then it seemed a mist. It moved and took at last a certain shape, I wist. A speck, a mist, shape, I wist. And still it neared and neared, as if it dodged a water sprite. It plunged and tacked and veered, with throats unslaked, with black lips baked. We could nor laugh nor wail. Through utter drought, all dumb we stood. I bit my arm, I sucked the blood, and cried, "A sail, a sail," with throats unslaked, with black lips baked. Agape they heard me call, "Gramercy." They for joy did grin, and all at once their breath drew in, as they were drinking all. "See, see," I cried, "she tacks no more. Hitherto work us wheel, without a breeze, without a tide. She steadies with a bright keel." The western wave was all aflame. The day was well nigh done. Almost upon the western wave rested the broad, bright sun, when that strange shape drove suddenly twixt us and the sun. And straight the sun was flecked with bars. Heaven's mother send us grace, as if through a dungeon grate he peered with broad and burning face. Alas, thought I, and my heart beat loud, how fast she nears and nears. Are those her sails that glance in the sun like restless gossamers? Are those her ribs through which the sun did peer as through a grate? And is that woman all her crew? Is that death, and are there two? Is death that woman's mate? Her lips were red, her looks were free, her locks were gold, her skin was white as leprosy. The nightmare life in death was she, who thick man's blood with cold. The naked hulk alongside came, and the twain were casting dice. The game is done. I've won, quoth she, and whistled thrice. The sun's rim dips, the stars rush out, at one stride comes the dark, with far heard whispers o'er the sea, off shot the spectre bark. This reminds you of DDLC, yeah. It is a good game. We listened and looked sideways up, fear at my heart as at a cup. My life blood seemed to sip. The stars were dim and thick the night. The steersman's face by his lamp gleamed white. Thank you for the bits. Thank you so much. Mwah. I went from the sails, the dew did drip, till clomb above the eastern bar the horned moon with one bright star within the nether tip. One after one by the star-dogged moon, too quick or groan or sigh. Each turned his face with a ghastly pang and cursed me with his eye. 4 times 50 living men, and I heard nor sigh nor groan. With heavy thump, a lifeless lump, they dropped down one by one. The souls did from their bodies fly. They fled to bliss or woe, and every soul it passed me by like the whiz of my crossbow. Part 5 or part 4. This is getting depressing. I'm so sorry. I fear thee, ancient mariner. I fear thy skinny hand, and thou art long and lank and brown, as in the ribbed sea sand. I fear thee, thy glittering eye, and thy skinny hand, O brown. Fear not, thou wedding guest, this body dropped not down. All alone, 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 alone on a wide, wide sea, and never a saint took pity on my soul in agony. The many men so beautiful, they all dead did lie, and 1,000 slimy things lived on, and so did I. I normally only do ASMR on Tuesdays. It's ASMR Tuesday. I looked upon the rotting sea and drew my eyes away. I looked upon the rotting deck, and there the dead men lay. I looked to heaven and tried to pray, but or ever a prayer had gushed, a wicked whisper came and made my heart as dry as dust. I closed my lids and kept them closed, and the balls like pulses beat. The sky and sea, and the sea and the sky lay dead like on a load on my weary eye, and the dead were at my feet. Thank you for playing TP Washi. The cold sweat melted from their limbs, nor rot nor reek did they. The look with which they looked on me had never passed away. An orphan's curse would drag to hell a spirit from on high. But oh, more horrible than that is the curse in a dead man's eye. 7 days, 7 nights, I saw that curse, and yet I could not die. The moving moon went up the sky, and nowhere did abide. Softly she was going up, and a star or two beside. Her beams bemocked the sultry main, like April or frost spread. But where the ship's huge shadow lay, the charmed water burnt alway, a still and awful red. Beyond the shadow of the ship, I watched the water snakes. They moved in tracks of shining white, and when they reared, the elfish light fell off in hoary flakes. Within the shadow of the ship, I watched their rich attire, blue, glossy green, and velvet black. They coiled and swam, and every track was a flash of golden fire. Oh, happy living things, no tongue their beauty might declare. A spring of love gushed from my heart, and I blessed them unaware. Sure, my kind saint took pity on me, and I blessed them unaware. The same self moment I could pray, and from my neck so free the albatross fell off and sank like lead into the sea. Part 5. This is the Rime of the Ancient Mariner. We're on part 5. Oh, sleep. It is a gentle thing, beloved from pole to pole. To Mary, Queen, the praise be given. She sent the gentle sleep from heaven that slid into my soul. The silly bucket on the deck that had so long remained, I dreamt that they were filled with dew, and when I awoke, it rained. Goose, how are you doing? My lips were wet, my throat was cold, my garments all were dank. Sure, I had drunken in my dreams, and still my body drank. I moved and could not feel my limbs. I was so light, almost I thought that I had died in sleep and was a blessed ghost. Tiger, are you trying to jump in my lap? Okay, you can hop in my lap. Come here, Tiger. Yeah. And soon I heard a roaring wind. It did not come anear, but with its sound it shook the sails that were so thin and sere. The upper air burst into life, and 100 fire flags sheen. To and fro they were hurried about, and to and fro, and in and out. When stars danced between. And the coming wind did roar more loud, and the sails did sigh like sedge, and the rain poured down from one black cloud. The moon was at its edge. The thick black cloud was cleft and still. The moon was at its side, like waters shot from some high crag. The lightning fell with never a jag. A river steep and wide. The loud wind never reached the ship, yet now the ship moved on beneath the lightning and the moon. The dead men gave a groan. They groaned, they stirred, they all uprose, nor spake nor moved their eyes. It had been strange, even in a dream, to have seen those dead men rise. The helmsman steered, the ship moved on, yet never a breeze blew. The mariners all can work in the ropes where they were wont to do. They raised their limbs like lifeless tools. We were a ghastly crew. The body of my brother's son stood by me, knee to knee. The body and I pulled at one rope, but he said not to me. I fear thee, ancient mariner. Be calm, thou wedding guest. 'Twas not those souls that fled in pain, which to their courses came again, but a troop of spirits blessed. For when it dawned, they dropped their arms and clustered round the mast. Sweet sounds rose slowly through their mouths and from their bodies passed. Around, around flew each sweet sound, then darted to the sun. Slowly the sounds came back again, now mixed, now one by one. Sometime a dropping from the sky, I heard skylark sing. Sometimes all little birds that are, how they seemed to fill the sea and air with their sweet jargoning. And now 'twas like all instruments, now like a lonely flute, and now it is an angel's song that makes the heavens be mute. It ceased, yet still the sails made on, a pleasant noise till noon, a noise like of a hidden brook in the leafy month of June, that to the sleeping woods at night singeth a quiet tune. This is a book? No, this is a poem. We're reading poetry. Till noon we quietly sailed on, yet never a breeze did breathe. Slowly and smoothly went the ship, moved onward from beneath. Under the keel, 9 fathom deep, from the land of mist and snow, the spirit slid, and it was he that made the ship to go. The sails at noon left oft their tune, and the ship stood still also. That's my water. The sun, right up above the mast, had fixed her to the ocean, but in a minute she can stir, short, uneasy motion, backwards and forwards, half of her length, with a short, uneasy motion. Then, like a pawing horse let go, made a sudden bound. It flung the blood into my head, and I fell down in a swound. How long in that same fit I lay, and I've naught to declare. But ere my living life returned, I hear and in my soul discerned two voices in the air. Is it he? Quoth one. Is this the man? By him who died on cross. With this cruel bow he laid full low the harmless albatross. The spirit who bideth by himself in the land of mist and snow. He loved the bird that loved the man who shot him with his bow. The other is a softer voice, as soft as honeydew. Quoth he, the man hath penance done, and penance more will he do. Part 5. Let's see how many parts there are. Okay, there's only 7 parts. Okay, let's finish it. Let's finish it. Hell. Okay. Part 6. First voice. But tell me, speak again. Thy soft response rewinding. What makes that ship drive on so fast? What is the ocean doing? Second voice. Still as a slave before its lord, the ocean hath no blast. His great bright eye most silently upon to the moon is cast. If he may know which way to go, or she guides him smooth or grim, see, brother, see, how graciously she looketh down on him. But why drives on that ship so fast without or wave or wind? The air is cut away before and closes from behind. Fly, brother, fly, more high, or we shall be belated, for slow and slow that ship will go when the mariner's trance is abated. I woke, and we were sailing on, as in gentle weather. 'Twas night, calm night. The moon was high. The dead men stood together. All stood together on the deck, for a charnel dungeon fitter. All fixed on me, stony eyes that in the moon did glitter. the pang, the curse with which they died had never passed away. I could not draw my eyes from theirs, nor turn them up to pray. And now this spell was snapped once more. I viewed the ocean green and looked far forth, yet little saw of what had else been seen. Like one that on a lonesome road doth walk in fear and dread, and having once turned round, walks on and turns no more his head, because he knows a frightful fiend doth close behind him tread. But soon there breathed a wind on me, nor sound nor motion made. Its path was not upon the sea, in ripple or in shade. It raised my hair, it fanned my cheek, like a meadow gale of spring. It mingled strangely with my fears, yet it felt like a welcoming. Swiftly, swiftly flew the ship, yet she sailed softly too. Sweetly, sweetly blew the breeze, on me alone it blew. Oh, dream of joy, is this indeed the lighthouse top I see? Is this the hill? Is this the kirk? Is this my own country? We drifted o'er the harbor bar, and with sobs did pray, oh, let me be wake, my God, or let me sleep away. The harbor bay was clear as glass, so smoothly it was strewn, and on the bay the moonlight lay, and the shadow of the moon. The rock shone bright, the kirk no less, that stands above the rock. The moonlight steeped in silentness, the steady weathercock, and the bay was white with silent light, till rising from its from the same full many shapes that shadows were in crimson colors came. A little distance from the prow, those crimson shadows turned my eyes. Tiger! Jumping up here. I turned my eyes upon the deck. Oh Christ, what I saw there. Each corse lay flat, lifeless and flat, and by the holy rood, a man, all light, a seraph man, on every corse there stood. This seraph band each waved his hand. It was a heavenly sight. They stood as signals to the land, each one a lovely light. This seraph band each waved his hand. No voice did they impart. No voice, but oh, the silence sank like music on my heart. Playing limbo, I see. Yeah, Thardic. But soon I heard the dash of oars. I heard the pilot's cheer. My head was turned, performance away, and I saw a boat appear. The pilot and the pilot's boy, I heard them coming fast. Dear Lord in heaven, it was a joy the dead men could not blast. Hi, Laura. I saw a third. I heard his voice. It is the hermit God. He singeth loud his godly hymn that he makes in the wood. He'll shrieve my soul. He'll wash away the albatross's blood. Part 7. This is the last part. This hermit good lives in that wood which slopes down to the sea. How loudly his sweet voice rears. He loves to talk with mariners that come from a far country. He kneels at morn and noon and eve. He hath a cushion plump. It is the moss that wholly hides the rotted old oak stump. The skiff boat neared. I heard them talk. Why this is strange, I trow. Where are those lights, so many and fair, that signal made but now? Strange, by my faith, the hermit said, and they answered not our cheer. planks look warped, and see those sails, how thin they are and sere. I never saw aught like to them, unless perchance it were brown skeleton of leaves that lag my forest brook along, when the ivy heavy with snow and the owlet whoops to the wolf below that eats the she-wolf's young. Dear Lord, it hath a fiendish look, the pilot made reply. I am afeard. Push on, said the hermit wearily. The boat came closer to the ship, but I nor spake nor stirred. The boat came close beneath the ship, and straight the sound was heard. Under the water it rumbled on, still louder, more dread. It reached the ship, split the bay. The ship went down like lead. Stunned by that loud and dreadful sound, which sky and ocean smote, like one that hath been 7 days drowned. My body lay afloat, but swift as dream, myself I found in the pilot's boat. Upon the whirl where sank the ship, the boat spun round and round, and all was still, save that the hill is telling of that sound. I moved my lips, the pilot shrieked and fell down in a fit. The holy hermit raised his eyes and prayed where he did sit. I took the oars. The pilot's boy, who now doth crazy go, laughed loud and long, and all the while his eyes went to and fro. Aha, quoth he, it's full plain to see, the devil knows how to row. And now, all in my own country, I stood on the firm land. The hermit stepped forth from the boat, and scarcely he could stand. Oh, shrieve me, holy man. The hermit crossed his brow. Say quick, quoth he, I bid thee say, what manner of man art thou? Forthwith this frame of mine was wrenched with woeful agony, which forced me to begin my tale and then it left me free. Since then, at an uncertain hour, that agony returns, until my ghastly tale is told. This heart within me burns. I pass like night from land to land. I have strange power of speech. That moment that his face I see, I know the man that must hear me. To him my tale I teach. Thank you for the 5-bit biddy. How you doing, Yakere? What loud uproar bursts from that door? The wedding guests are there. But in the garden bower the bride, and bridemaids singing are. And hark the little vesper bell, which biddeth me to prayer. O wedding guest, this soul hath been alone on a wide, wide sea. So lonely 'twas that God himself scarce seemeth to be there to be. Oh, sweeter than the marriage feast, 'tis sweeter far to me to walk together to the kirk with a godly company. To walk together to the kirk and all together pray, while each to his great Father bends, old men and babes and loving friends, and youths and maidens gay. That's me, I'm a maiden gay. Much support your way, had 98 ASMR. Thank you, I do ASMR on Tuesdays. Farewell, farewell, but this I tell to thee, thou wedding guest. He prayeth well who loveth well, both man and bird and beast. He prayeth best who loveth best all things, both great and small. For the dear God who loveth us, he made and loveth all. The mariner whose eye is bright, whose beard with age is hoar, is gone, and now the wedding guest turned from the bridegroom's door. He went like one that hath been stunned, and is of sense forlorn. A sadder and a wiser man, he rose the morrow morn. Yay, that's the end. That was the entire Rime of the Ancient Mariner. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay. Patchy, 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 patchy. Alright. I think I will now read the one that I've been waiting to read, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. But first, I'm gonna grab some water. So sit tight. Just hang on. Hello, I'm back. Also, thank you for the follows. Yo, Sapphire Official, Zor. Welcome to Sorry Patch. Hello. Alright, so now we're getting to the good stuff. Little Moon, thank you for following. Alright, so now I'm gonna be reading The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Maybe I should switch music. Maybe I should put on creepy ambient music. Spooky ambient music playlist. Wow, we really live in a society. Let's see how this sounds. Alright. Oh, this is a little creepy. Okay, so sure, I'll do this. Alright, let's start. I'm very excited. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone greatly, as of someone gently rapping on my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember. It was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow. Sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor." Entreating. Sorry, I couldn't read it. "'Tis some visitor entreating, entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it, and nothing more." Presently, my soul grew stronger, hesitating, then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is, I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I open wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness, peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming, dreams no mortals ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what thread is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here, I flung the shutter, when many a flirt and a flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above the chamber door, with such a name as nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, if his soul in that one word he did outpour, nothing further than he uttered, not a feather then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered. Other friends have flown before. The morrow you will leave me as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply, though aptly spoken. Doubtless, said I, what it utters is only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never, nevermore. But the raven, still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat, engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press, ah, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee by these angels, he hath sent thee respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil. Prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm, Gilead? Tell me, I implored. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Thank you, I know I'm beautiful. Prophet, said I, thing of evil. Oh wait, I already read that part. Oh no, it's just the same part. Prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul sorrow laden if within the distant Aidenn shall clasp sainted maiden whom the angels named Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden who the angels named Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign in parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore. The end. That was The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Yay, wasn't that great? What a good poem. Clap, clap, clap. Beautiful. Fantastic. Alright. So, I'm gonna read one more short poem, very short, and then I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. I was gonna stream longer, but then my stomach started growling, and I realized I'm a little hungry. So, I need to find someone to raid soon. Yes, I will eat. Oh, nice. Savvy Senpai is streaming. Fuck yeah, okay, I know exactly who to raid. Okay, cool. Alright, this last poem that we have for tonight. Thank you for following Wind Hugs. Welcome to Story Patch. This last one is called Birches by Robert Frost. When I see birches bend to left and right, cross the lines of straighter, darker trees, I like to think some boy's been swinging on them, but swinging doesn't bend them down to stay as ice storms do. Often you must have seen them loaded with ice a sunny winter morning after a rain. They click upon themselves as the breeze rises and turn many-colored as the stir cracks and crazes their enamel. Soon, sun's warmth makes them shed crystal shells, shattering and avalanching on the snow crust. Such heaps of broken glass to sweep away. You'd think the inner dome of heaven had fallen. They're dragged to the withered bracken by the load, and they seem not to break, though once they are bowed. So low or long, they never right themselves. You may see their trunks arching in the woods, years afterwards, trailing their leaves on the ground, like girls on hands and knees that throw their hair before them over their heads, dry in the sun. But I was going to say when truth broke in with all her matter of fact about the ice storm, I should prefer to have some boy bending them as he went out and in to fetch the cows. Some boy too far from town to learn baseball, who only plays what he found himself, summer or winter, and can play alone. One by one, he subdued his father's trees by writing them down and over again until he took the stiffness out of them, and not one but hung limp, not one was left for him to conquer. He learned all there was to learn about not launching out too soon, and so not carrying the tree away clear to the ground. He always kept his poise to the top branches, climbing carefully with the same pains you'd use to fill a cup up to the brim and even above the brim. Then he flung outward, feet first, with a swish, kicking his way down through the air to the ground. So was I once myself a swinger of birches, warbling fireplace. And so I dream of going back to be. It's when I'm wary of consideration, and life is too much like a pathless wood where your face burns, tickles with the cobwebs broken across it, and one eye is weeping from a twig having lashed. And I'd like to get away from earth for a while, and then come back to it and begin all over. May no fate willfully misunderstand me, and half grant what I wish and snatch me away, not to return. Earth's the right place for love. I don't know where it's likely to go better. I'd like to go by climbing a birch tree and climb black branches up a snow-white trunk toward heaven till the tree could bear no more, but dipped its top and set me down again. That would be good, both going and coming back. One could do worse than be a swinger of the birches. It's a cute story about a tree, a boy who loves trees. Alright, you guys have been really sweet and really nice. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to send you over to Savi Senpai. I haven't been able to write her yet because she's, I think, from the UK, so like time zones, but she's really cute. She's tan like me. Let's go. And I had a lot of fun reading poetry. I'd like to do it again, but it's kind of hard to find poems, so I need to like figure out how to do that. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Thursday for my Papers, Please game. And if you're here for the ASMR, I'll see you next Tuesday for my ASMR. Bye bye. Mwah. Don't use the raid message. I should make an ASMR raid message like comfy stream or something. I don't fucking know. Just be sweet. Okay. Bye guys. I'll see you later. I love you. Mwah.